News of the fall of Sirte comes after so many weeks of us reporting what ended up looking like hand-to-hand fighting in Sirte, and then came the news that the city had indeed fallen to NCC troops, and then the report started circulating that Colonel Gaddafi had been captured there. That is what NTC troops in Sirte, fighters there, told our correspondents, but as yet we are still waiting for the new leadership of Libya to actually confirm that. With us in the studio is Nabila Ramdani, journalist and analyst on the Middle East. If these reports are confirmed, what would they mean?
Well, it's clearly a momentous day, not only for the history of Libya, but it will have huge implications for Africa, the Middle East and indeed the world. But I think for the Libyans to be able to move on and to have absolute closure after almost 42 years of despotic rule, they will need strong evidence that indeed Gaddafi has been captured, either alive or dead, so that they can move on with either due process to put him on trial or start a new phase in their history. What
is your assessment of what the appetite will be? Because lots of, although he is wanted by the UN War Crimes Tribunal, how strong is the desire to put him on trial in Libya?
I think for the Libyans, as we've heard throughout the conflict, the rebel forces strong need for Colonel Gaddafi. We've heard some, reactions from angry rebels saying that they wouldn't mind if he was captured dead. But for the majority, it was hugely important that he should be brought to justice and that he should be held accountable for the crimes he committed throughout the decades.
What is your assessment of the new leadership in Libya? Because over the last few weeks, the 2 months since the fall of Tripoli, we have had some reports that they are divided, that there's a lot of factionalism. How will they be able to make the most of this moment if the news is confirmed?
What was abundantly clear is that the unifying element among all the opposition was that they were unified in their hatred towards Gaddafi, and they were all determined to get rid of him. Now, beyond this element, there seem to have been a few differences between rebel forces, regional, ideological, and that indeed will be a huge challenge for the National Transitional Council to reconcile all these differences and bring about unity in the country.
Nabila, thanks very much for the moment. We're just continuing to show you, these are the live pictures that we're now seeing of those continuing celebrations in Sirte.
And we have a picture to show you that we must warn you is gruesome. We understand perhaps that this could be Colonel Gaddafi, although we cannot confirm it. It's incredibly grainy. He does, I think you would say, bear a very strong resemblance to Colonel Gaddafi. Clearly there is blood on his clothes, there is blood on his face. This is a photograph that was taken on a mobile phone, and we understand it comes from Sirte, and it was taken in Sirte today. So that photographic evidence, Nabila, that you were talking about, that people would need to see that starting to come through now. How do you feel when you see that first image?
Well, absolutely. This is, a very vivid picture that we've just seen. And it sums up Gaddafi, really, when he said that he will live and die in Libya. He clearly died in Libya, in his country. Remember, we're talking about a soldier himself. He started his own revolution in 1969. He was a colonel and he died in fighting. So I think that's perhaps, the kind of ending that he would have liked for himself.
This ending more than the one that we've been hearing from this man Muhammad al-Bibi, who spoke to our correspondent, saying he was hiding in a hole and begging people not to shoot him.
Yes, I don't think he would have liked to end his regime or even his days like Saddam Hussein. The kind of humiliating international trial that he could potentially have faced, Mubarak style or Saddam Hussein style, would have been hugely embarrassing for someone of his ilk, for someone who built himself as a warrior, as a fighter for all these years.
Okay, Nabila, thank you.
You're watching BBC News with our live coverage of the dramatic reports that have emerged from Libya in the last few hours, immediately after news that the new government's troops had finally taken Colonel Gaddafi's hometown of Sirte. We started to hear